Welcome to Yarn Hellions. I'm Sarah Flynn of Superfine Yarn Company, and this is Christine Parker of Christine Parker Co. And we are together known as the Yarn Hellions. Mm-hmm. And we're so happy you could join us today. And please, if you enjoy this episode, please subscribe and tell your friends. We have a lot to cover today, the end of our make-along. Mm-hmm. New yarn. I have an update coming up. New things finished.
Finished objects.
Yeah.
I
have some good books that I read.
I'm so glad that you have been reading. I just looked at my Goodreads, like in the car coming up here. I read 2 books in April. That's it. That's which, like, you know, 2 books is still better than no books, but like that's low for me. That's unusual. Oh, man. So yeah, I've been struggling.
I counted because I'm reading a lot of different things for the job. I'm have some shows coming up. I have a weird fiction. I have short stories, and so I've been trying some stuff outside my comfort zone. So some things were just either like too violent or just not quite for me. So I had DNF'd like 30 books this year.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. So, but I have read some things I really liked. So
good. Woo. I'm excited to hear about them.
Yeah. Okay. So Ripley is really distracted by all of the goings on here. I have a shop update coming. Superfineyarn.com this Friday, May 6th at 7 p.m.
Which is
this Friday.
Today. If you're watching the episode today, it's Friday for you. So,
Yeah. So we usually put this up around noon. So if you're watching it during the day, it'll be at 7 p.m. tonight.
Eastern time.
Yep, Eastern time. So I would be really pleased if you checked out my new yarn. And I have a code for Yarn Hellions fans. YH10 at checkout will get you 10% off your cart.
Nice.
And I'll show today. I haven't named everything. I'm taking pictures today, but I'll show you like a little sneak of some things. And then wanted to talk about Great Lakes a little bit too, because that's Memorial Day weekend. I'll have a booth there. I'm going to be in the grandstand again, even though I asked to be somewhere else.
Oh, man.
Because funny, like the grandstand is like concrete kind of, and the same place I was. And some people like walk right past it. So it's weird. Like some people don't like being in there because they feel like a lot of people don't see it, even though it's enormous. Yeah. So I'm not sure. And then sometimes if you peek in certain doors, it looks like the one end is all like roving. It looks like there's not yarn in there. So make sure you check all the buildings.
I definitely last year missed one of the buildings. Not the one you were in, but there was one, I don't remember which, but I like looked at the like roster of vendors and
you missed
and I was like, wait, who was it that I missed? I'll never remember her name, but I wanted to see her stuff and I missed it because I didn't realize one of the buildings. Yeah, they really need better signage and like directions and I think, there. Little map.
This year, one of the organizers or the main organizer passed away, so it's under new kind of management this year. So things might be a little different. So we'll see how it goes. It's always a great show for vendors. I always have like a really good time there, and it's good to catch up with people, and it's a really fun weekend. So it will either be 92 degrees and we'll be dying, or like last year, so cold. Amia and I, like when things slowed down and you weren't like, talking and walking around, it was cold. Yeah. And then Sunday was a little slower and I was by myself and man, it was cold. I had like tea thermoses and but it's always a good time. And then we're going to have some Yarn Hellions tote bags. We're going to have 3 of them at the booth when it starts on Saturday. So if you'd like to be one of the first people to come in and say Yarn Hellions to me, or actually I think my brother's going to be checking people out. So we'll have 3. So the first 3 people who can come up and say Yarn Hellions get a tote bag. And then after that, we'll have stickers and postcards and stuff like that.
Little freebies.
Trying to think of anything else.
Let's see what I got. I have nothing. It's been like the most boring 2 weeks. I had a cold, which was it wasn't COVID, which good. Like I couldn't believe it because like I never go anywhere or see anybody hardly. Like I'm, my husband, he's going to work and whatever and does all the shopping, but like I see you and I see my parents, and like we saw Devin's family on Easter, and that's it. So one of all of you gave me a cold. So that sucked. And then what else? Saw my nibblings. Oh my God, my nibblings. They're so cute. I know that like nobody cares about anybody else's babies. Like you know, whatever, but it's very exciting for me. I love them. What else? Oh, I voted this morning. I was telling Sarah before we started, I was talking about voting. And then I stopped myself because I'm like, I gotta save it for the episode. Now I don't remember what I was trying to say. I think I was telling you that normally I've never voted in person where I live at my house. Like we've lived in Willowick for 10 years and I've never voted in person there. We just always get an absentee ballot because then you don't have to leave your house. Right. But I forgot to get my absentee ballot for this election. It was like the Ohio primaries today. So I was like, oh my God, I have to figure out how to go and like vote. It's like a church down the street from my house. So I went there and it was actually super easy. You just show up with your ID and, the last time I voted in person, you had to like punch the little card with your little, a little pen or whatever. But this time it was like they scan your ID and then you get a little receipt with a barcode on it and you take it to the booth. And then somebody else, like the poll worker scans your little barcode and then, it's all touch screen and then it prints your ballot and you have to take it to the thing and then they scan it. It's like all high tech. So it was pretty cool. But it was really fast and super easy and I could walk there. So I probably will vote in person now more often because it was quick and I don't mind leaving my house for 10 minutes. I sound like a recluse. I'm not. I do go places. Just not often. So I think, is that all I had?
Oh, you have one more thing?
Oh, yeah.
I love this thing.
Do you?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
And
so I just learned about this podcast called Creative Pep Talk by Andy J. Pizza, who's an illustrator from Columbus, which is very cool. And I'm not even all the way through the first episode that I'm listening to. It's like one of the more recent ones where he gives like his 10 tips for creative, like living a creative life or like whatever.
I love his voice.
He's so funny. He does.
He's very like happy.
He has ADHD. So yeah, he seems to have a different. He probably, if I had to guess, he's got like the hyperactive, because he's really like energetic and really cheerful, and he's on, and like it's like makes me kind of exhausted to listen to him. But I listened to it all the way here, and I'm like, this guy is the best. I'm so excited.
I have one of his illustrations, but I don't have it hanging up right now. When I had art back here, I had one of his little like crazy little yep.
Yeah. So I've been like getting, I've been illustrating for like 2 years, but I recently decided I'm going hard on the art. Yeah.
Doing a lot of like lettering and
I've been practicing lettering. I'm drawing more. I'm like really pushing my Patreon Flare Club because I want to grow that this year. That's one of my goals is to grow my Flare Club, and so I'm just like really interested in art and I've always been. I mean, when I remember when I was little and people asked me, "Oh, what do you want to be when you grow up?" and I'd say an artist.
Aww.
And so like I don't know, I'm living that part. But I realize that like while I enjoy knitting and I like designing, it's not a lucrative.
Living.
Right. I can't do it fast enough to make money, and I need to make money. So I'm starting to focus on the like art and illustrating and merch side a little bit heavier. So it was exciting.
Look at all these designs.
Yeah, I wore all my pins today because I'm like, I got my denim jacket, and
trying to see which ones I have, which ones I still.
So I've got a bunch of Pin Club ones, and then I've got Dymad yarn. I've got Republica Unicornia, and then the rest are mine. yeah, I don't know, just making pins and stickers and t-shirts and stuff, it's really fun, and like it's such an easy way to like express my style and my values, and you know that you all share that with me is so cool. So that's you'll be seeing more of that.
And for anyone who's in any, like, it is about illustration a lot, but it's really about any creative arena for any type of artist. And the difficulty is you're an artistic person, but not necessarily very good at social media or being an extrovert or any of those skills that might not coincide with being an artist, which is really, so just like, yeah, it'll be like 5 ways you can do this on Instagram or, you know, ways to reach more people, or, you know, like just like easy, manageable. They're never like way out there. You have to post, you know, this crazy amount. It is always really good down to earth advice about just get your stuff out there, and like some really, really good, like, just like things you just don't know till you've done this for a while. Like he said, oh, you start and you think, well, I have to have a collaboration with like the biggest person, like Stephen West. I have to, you know, it's the only way I'm gonna get, you know, and then sometimes those don't work out great. Like either it doesn't, you know, you're on just such like different like planes. He's like, work with people that are, you know, like build up other people like around you and in your, you know, sphere and like in the Midwest. And it's so like good stuff like that you don't like think about. Like, oh, good.
That's
just
interesting.
gonna like help out other people and, you know, how to like kind of build a community.
Yeah, the episode I was listening to today was like a lot about like being true to your authentic self and like, you know, doing your art your way, not the way you think will be marketable, or
because then
it's people like notice if you're trying to fake it, like people will see that, and you know it just doesn't ring true. And so that was like, and he's like, not everybody's gonna get it.
That is the other thing that helped me so much.
Yeah,
because people would walk by your booth and be like, oh, and like you no matter what you do, you will not be for everyone.
Right.
Somebody who will not like it.
Yeah.
But the people who do like it, that's your fan group, and that's see. And it's so helpful because you can like, I was so sensitive when I started, and you are. It's like personal, and you know you work so hard, and you're standing there in your booth, and somebody like scoffs at like your hard work of months, you know, and just walks by, you know. So he helped a lot with that. So I'm behind because I kind of fell off a little bit, but oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, I started at episode 349, so yeah.
But I just scroll through and then see like what I need help with.
Okay, cool. I'll have to try that. Yeah. But yeah, I was like listening to it on the way here and like getting all pumped up, and I had my coffee and I'm like all zingy and whatever. That's cool that you listened to it too. In fact, I feel like I remember you telling me about him like on Instagram, or I don't know.
I might have
TikTok maybe?
A while ago.
Yeah, because I remember his name, Pizza. Andy J. Pizza. And I remember looking at it and thinking like, I don't know, this guy might not be for me. But I'm trying it again, and I'm on board, so. Yeah. So today's special topic is we're finishing up the discussion we started in the last episode about pattern design, which I have now decided that I am not going to be pursuing as heavily. I do have 2 patterns I'm going to be making this year. One is for assuming I'm not 100% sure on like all the details, assuming the yarn shop still wants to do it. But I've got a pattern in mind for what's the holiday? It's in September. YTD, Yarn Discovery Tour. So I'm making a pattern for that, and then Kelly of Dye Mad Yarns and I talked about doing a shawl collaboration for one of her yarn collections. So that's on the horizon too. So do you want to talk about, should we go into our special topic, or is there other stuff you want to chat about first?
No, I think special topic is
okay. It's going to make me tired. I'm going to use up all my brain juice. So
after you do, then I'll talk about my yarn and update you.
Perfect.
Break.
Okay, cool. I have to like always go home and take a nap after our episodes. Which that's just introverting, I think, for me. Like, I just need time to recuperate. All right. So, in the last episode, we talked about the like creative side of pattern design. So today I want to talk about more about the business, like the business part of it, how to find a tech editor, how to market your designs. So the first thing I have written down is that I recommend starting with a couple of free patterns first before you start charging. And that is just like to help build trust. Like so really the thing is you want to start building an audience like now, whether if you're like, I might, be designing patterns in 6 months or whatever, like start building your audience now. You want like work on your email list, you want to work on your Instagram following or whatever social media or whatever that you're planning on using. Building that up first will help when you're like, okay, I'm ready to charge. I'm ready for people to give me money for my expertise. So start with a couple free patterns. I did, let's see, what do I have? I did the big Fatty Cowl, and it's just like a super simple, oh yeah, do you have yours? Yeah. It's just a super simple garter stitch, super bulky shawl. It's knit flat, and then you seam it with a twist in it. So it's like lays really nice. So that was a freebie. You can get it on my website or my Ravelry. Ooh, yours is pretty.
Yeah, I got it. Haha. And I did more on mine.
Okay, yeah, it looks longer.
Yeah.
The drape is really nice on yours. What's the other one I have?
And your twice.
Whoops. And then the other one was a simple color work hat. It's the Uncooperative Hat. It says nope on it. This is also a free pattern. Just to because when you give people free stuff, they like it, and then they'll they'll follow you because they want more free stuff, or that's how you just generate interest. So start with a couple of free patterns. These aren't rules. Also, it's just this is what I did, and you can also do whatever you want. You're an adult. What else do I have? So I want to talk about copying and intellectual property theft and what have you, because those are really important. And I think that people getting started don't really think about those things, because I sure didn't until I got hit with a cease and desist letter from a company. It was actually, I'm scared to say the words. It was for the Bomb Pop shawl, which apparently Bomb Pop is a registered trademark. And I had no idea. I thought it was just like a rocket shaped popsicle. And popsicle is a trademark also, so you can't use that either. That's crazy. But I got hit with a cease and desist letter from whatever company owns the Bomb Pop trademark. They're like, you can't use this. You can't use our trademark to name your pattern. You need to stop it right now. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I never, ever would have done that if I'd realized. So now I check all the time. Anytime I do a new design, I want to check the name. I check the, you want to watch your instructions too. Cause in knitting and other crafts, the techniques are not trademark or copyrighted, but the words that you use to describe those techniques is. So, for example, does that make sense, first of all?
Yes.
Okay. So, knit two together. Every pattern ever has that direction in it, and like it's, you know, it's the same abbreviation. But if you're like, you can't like copy someone else's text and paste it into your own pattern, even though that's like the same instructions. You have to figure out how to write it out so that it's your own. Same with things like pictures and, you know, like the design. It's weird. There's so many similar designs on, like on Ravelry. If you're like, I want to make a, you know, a plain stockinette hat, there's 10 million vanilla hat patterns. A lot of them are free, because when something is real simple like that, it's like you're not exactly replicating the same object, but they're so close that there's, I don't know. It's like it becomes iffy. And once you start to make money on something, that's when it becomes a commercial product, and then you can be sued for it. So like if you're in doubt about, you know, your design, or, you know, you're worried that there's like, not that you've copied something, but that, you know, it might be misconstrued as, you know, somebody else's pattern, make it free, because it's really not worth it to screw with intellectual property rights, and you just don't want to get mixed up in that. Does that happen ever in like dyeing yarn?
The funniest thing is I have some things that are named after like nerdy things, and I've never done this before.
Yeah.
And everyone, I don't know. We'll see. You know, people have Downton Abbey clubs, Harry Potter clubs, do it for years and not like, I mean, as far as I hear from like, you know, Facebook groups or stuff like that, nobody's ever said that they've gotten a letter.
I can't believe it. I don't know.
Yeah, if you've heard of somebody having to give up a yarn name because of that, I'd like to hear it, because it seems like so rampant, and it's, you know, I don't know what to think.
I mean, I've heard of things like that on Etsy. People selling like, did you know that it's illegal to buy a fabric that has Mickey Mouse on it and then like make a project bag and sell
That's
that.
ridiculous.
Isn't that crazy? But like, I mean, Disney, if they wanted to, could come after that person.
So yeah. So I mean, there's so
You
many
have to be
things
really
that
careful.
are all, yeah. I mean, I have a Baby Yoda bag. You know, actually, both of my bags are copyrighted. Character.
It's weird. I don't know.
And probably if you don't call it like, you know what I mean? Like if you don't name it, if you're like
right,
superhero women,
yes,
like, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's a huge, it's a huge thing. I always think about it, but I did it this time because I thought I was going to Comic-Con, but we'll see.
Oh yeah, whatever happened with Comic-Con?
I kept emailing and never got any response, and I had put a deposit down on the booth, and so I was like, either tell me or refund my money.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. I feel really bad. And then finally I emailed like the head, like, you know, they're like, I kept emailing event, like the exhibitor email. I finally emailed like, you know, just the generic like email for the whole group. And they were like, well, you need to talk to the exhibitor. I was like, no, I keep talking to them and they're not helping me. So then they're like, you'll hear something today. And then they wrote and said, oh, you're not in, we're sending you a refund. Like, thanks.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, that's,
and like,
just give an answer.
Like 8 days before. So even if I wasn't, it was annoying. Anyway, so not in, but you guys will benefit.
Well,
yeah. Some cute colors.
Cool.
So we'll see.
Yeah, so just be careful about copywriting and, you know, theft of intellectual property, and it's all bad. One of the things I was really like worried about when I first started was like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm too new to like have test knitters, or like this pattern isn't good enough to warrant having a tech editor. Like that's
not true.
Yeah. Every pattern will benefit from, for sure, testers. Like, please don't put a pattern out unless it's been tested.
Because in your brain it might make sense, but if somebody else reads it.
It's amazing what other people will catch that like you don't even think of. You know, it makes sense in your head and
like turn it over or slide this way.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, definitely testers for sure. And the thing, like testers are nice because you get like, you know, a bunch of different eyes on your work. Plus they're like excited about it. So they'll help like hype up your pattern, and they're, you know, they're telling your audience or their audiences about your stuff, and like it's like free promotion, but not totally free, because testers aren't free. Like it's not free labor. I recommend, like I've always paid my testers with, they get like a free copy of the final pattern. I think that's really important to like give back a little. And I think there are some designers who actually pay, probably the big guys, the big designers. I am not making enough money to pay my testers, but yeah, I think it's important to give it at least the pattern. For tech editing, the tech editor is there to help you make the cleanest pattern possible. So, and it's really not as expensive as I expected it to be. I think the most I've ever spent on tech editing was like $85 for the retro whirl pattern set, but that was 2 patterns. So usually it's like 40 or $50. Like, right. It's not as that
4 times that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
And my, not to brag, but like my editor's a really good one. She's been in the industry for a long time. I believe she edits for Nitty. She's done a bunch of books. She's got books of her own out. Her name's Edie Ekman, if you're looking for an awesome editor. And it took me a while to find her. I went through a different editor first, who ended up sucking, who I'm not going to give out their name. But for me, an editor, like a tech editor, is going to be easy to reach, is going to respond to your emails in a timely fashion. You're not going to have to remind them about deadlines. Like, they're going to be proactive in finishing the work that they said they would work. They will bill you on time. They're going to catch your like grammatical errors, your math errors. They're going to give you feedback on the pattern, like the layout, as well as like the written part of this. You know, like Edie has told me like, this picture is really cool, but it doesn't show off, like you can't see the shawl at all. You know, it's better for the people knitting the project if they can actually see the object that they're making. And that's like something I never even thought of, because I'm like, this picture looks cool and I look great, so I'm going to use this one. But it wasn't the most helpful photo for the pattern. So that was helpful. What else? They check your math, they check your sizing. Yeah, the first editor that I worked with forgot to bill me for a year and a half. I got a bill like literally a year and a half. It was 18 months after we finished the project. And like, I was so irritated that she didn't bill me, when the project was finished, that I was like, I knew she hadn't billed me, and I hadn't paid her for her work. But I was like, I'm not going to chase her. Like, I had to remind her that, I was like, you said you'd have your feedback to me by this date, and it is now 3 days past that date. Like, so whatever. Yeah. So if you get to your first editor and you're like, this is not working out, it's okay to find another editor. You want to have somebody, if you're paying somebody, you want them to be someone that, that you value their feedback. And speaking of feedback, I meant to say this when I was talking about testers. You also want to find testers who are going to give you feedback and who are going to give you who aren't afraid to give constructive criticism. And, I've had people who are just like really excited to knit a free pattern that no one else has knit. And, but like, excitement is good, but the point of having testers is to get that feedback and learn, about your pattern, what can be improved. You can find testers. There's like special groups on Ravelry. I really hate like the Ravelry forums. I don't.
It's hard to do anything.
Yeah, they're like confusing and I don't know, but they are useful. Oh my goodness, are you really tired? Oh man. They are a useful resource because there are boards specifically for like testing calls where you can be like, hey, I have this pattern. I'm looking for pattern testers. Email me at whatever.
I
If you're
found my
interested.
sample knitter on Instagram. I just looked for sample knitter hashtag and scrolled through till I found stuff that I liked.
Yeah.
And then
There you go. I was
Georgia.
gonna Instagram. I was gonna say too. And obviously, like Google search, this would work for tech editors too. There's groups for tech editors on Ravelry. You can do a Google search. I think Edie, my tech editor, is like one of the first that comes up for on the old Google. She's
Google.
she's one of the first. So she's got good SEO on her website. I think that's how I found her. But then I ended up loving her, so it works out. And I would say one of the things that like the biggest hurdles I had to get over was like, oh my God, testers and tech editors, like they're going to judge my work. They're going to be like, this is so stupid. Why is this person trying to be a designer or whatever? But like,
none of that happened.
That's not real. Like nobody's here to judge your pattern or whatever. Like your editor is there to help you make a better pattern because they love knitting and they love editing. Nobody would be editing if they didn't like editing.
I thought people were going to like send yarn back. Like the first, I was like, they're going to send it back and hate it and want refunds. I don't know how to give a refund.
It's hard, man. Our like the imposter syndrome is so powerful. I don't know. I just constantly have to remind myself like thoughts are not reality. Opinions are not reality. Like it's not these things that you're telling yourself in your head. It's not real. I think local yarn shops may possibly be a good resource too, especially when you're trying to like market your patterns once they're like published and whatever. I have a good relationship with our local yarn store. And so they're like always hyping up my patterns and, they want samples of my work in their shop so they can like show their patrons like, ooh, a local designer designed this pattern. Do you want to make it? Here's some yarn for it. And, so it's like mutually beneficial. You can sell your designs online. Obviously, I've got mine on Ravelry. You can put them on Etsy. There's a website called PayHip that is good for like digital stuff. So when I gave Etsy the boot, I moved all my patterns to PayHip. And then obviously like a personal website is a good place. And then I was thinking about this today. Like if you have a collection of patterns, you could also self-publish. Like you could get them formatted into a book and put it, put the digital, like a Kindle book on Amazon. Or you could pitch to a traditional publisher that does that does those kind of books. I have never done that, so I don't have any advice. But it's an option. That's a thing that you could do. And then the places I found that are like the most lucrative for like promoting stuff is obviously Instagram. I use that all the time. But like, man, Instagram really chaps my ass. I'm just like so fed up with the freaking algorithm and like the ads and like it's just Instagram is just becoming such a cesspool.
Reel with pinching your stickers. Did that take forever? Because it looked great.
Oh, thanks. It actually didn't. It was
so cool.
Oh, thank you. It was, I saw another sticker designer do it and I was like, oh, I want to try that. And it turned out pretty cute. Yeah, thank you. But yeah, like you have to constantly like keep up with the trends and, do the, like now I'm working on doing reels more because you don't get seen if you don't play the game.
Well, and the funniest thing, and this happened with you with your peeling your backing off of your video.
Mm-hmm.
It was like you worked hard on a bunch of videos, and then peeling the backing off was like your big like hit video.
It was like 250,000 views on this stupid like reel that took me 20 seconds to record. I was just peeling the masking tape off of a...
With me too, I was just looking back through and I'll spend, time and like editing all this. My two biggest are one, twisting.
No. Just gotta let it go. Okay.
Twisting one skein, like
Really?
20-second video of twisting a skein of yarn on my skein twister. And Bark did one. He had like a barbecue brush that he was like brushing the dye in. It's like just hit like 20 grand.
Wow.
20 grand. 20,000, which is nice. They kind of tell you, oh, your video hit this. But like, okay, I'm not ever spending like tons of time on these. But yeah.
Well, anyway, so I'm like getting so mad at Instagram. Have we talked about the new making
and
app?
I need to get on there.
It's pretty cool. It reminds me a lot of Instagram, but it's like crafty and DIY focused. So you know how like on Ravelry you can create a project and like, you know, tag your yarn and your, you know, put your needle size and whatever. Well, you can do that on the making app, but for any craft. So you can like, you know, I put, oh my God, she's so cute. You're so cute when you're not being bad.
It's minimal.
So like I put all my stickers on there and I've been, you know, like tagging all my stickers with like digital illustration and, you know, drawing practice and whatever. And so I've been getting some new followers and some action from that. And I've been working on utilizing Pinterest more often too. I don't know if that's really generating any views or whatever, but I've started putting like my Instagram posts on Pinterest and the lettering art that I've been doing and pictures of my finished knitting projects and that kind of thing. But there's also like there's Facebook groups, there's your email list can also be a big seller because the people who are getting your emails, they're like dedicated. They're like, yes, I want to hear about this. I want to be notified right in my inbox when you've got something new going on. And I'm really bad about sending out my email list.
That's my weakest thing. I do it twice a year.
Yeah. I know it's like,
it's like do it like monthly.
A powerful, you know, marketing whatever, but it's I just hate writing it. It's like, I think of all the aspects of my business is like the writing of content is my least favorite.
But you're really good at it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why I hate it.
Like you're not just throwing up something. Like you can tell like you spend time because it's like interesting and long but it's like is engaging. You're not just like here's a photo of my sticker, which is what like here's more yarn. Which is why it's hard because you're putting effort into it.
That's a good point. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I always enjoy your posts.
All right, is that it? Yeah, my last tip is consistency. Consistency is going to be the fastest way to grow your business, your following, your income, whatever. And like I know this and I don't. Like we were just talking about email list consistency. It's so hard. So
posting consistency.
Yes, but and like any business website is going to tell you this. You want to post consistently. You want to have a consistent brand. You want to have, you know, your message should be consistent. You want to, you know, whatever. That's one way to like do it. And it's a fast way. Like if you can keep on top of it, you will see growth. You will see change. It will be, you know, it will work, but it's really hard. And like I suck at, like the email list, and I don't like to stick to one style of, you know, like art or like I like to dip my toes in all these different things, and I have a really hard time like settling, you know, like niching down. So consistency it's helpful, it's good, like, but it's not the only way to have a great business and to enjoy yourself.
I think it's hard too because you either like stuff that's not interesting to you because you do it all the time is interesting to other people. Yeah. So I think that's hard too. Like, oh, I didn't know anyone cared, you know? So I think like some of that's hard. Like you really want to see rinsing yarn? Like, okay. And then like I just take it for granted. Like, oh, this could be a video, you know? So.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's like my stupid peeling reel that just like went crazy viral. And what was so annoying about that reel too is that it went viral in like a totally wrong community, like for the people. Like it was, people thought, because it was one of my fuck gauge rulers that say fuck gauge on it, like stitch and row gauge, right? And people were like, oh, is this to like measure penises? Like, what is this for? And I'm like, where did you come from? Like it was just random like sex maniacs looking at my reel.
If it boosts your,
so I got all those views, but like no, it didn't generate.
Whole other marketing avenue you're just ignoring. Revenue streams, come on.
Yeah, I guess I should embrace it. But it was like I was trying to sell this gauge ruler to other knitters and crocheters, and like just all the wrong people were seeing it.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, it was funny, but yeah. So that's pattern making. That's all I got for you. I hope it was interesting. Again, if you have questions about anything that I've talked about, leave it in the comments and I'll address it in the next episode. Are you ready to talk about yarn?
I am ready to talk about yarn. Are you
I'm
ready to take a break from talking?
Yes, I am. I'm ready to look at yarn and listen about yarn.
Oh, yay. So, with the shop update, I'm going to have Entice sock, which is my superwash sock, Euclid Sparkle sock, my West 25th MCN DK, and Walton worsted, which is a superwash worsted, and then mini sets. So those will be all the bases in the shop update. So Christine was looking at designing a DK shawl, so I pulled out the DK colors that I have twisted. I still have some that I'm rinsing today, so we'll see if those get up in time. But I wanted to show her what DK colors I have. And they're not named yet, so I'll have to I'll put a link up to just like on Friday, the DK like page in our notes. Just go check out the website. So this is like a tealy green. Even like blue, yeah, like baby blue, mint green, pistachio green,
ooh,
teal. So it has a little bit of everything for you green people out there.
I love how your colors are like, they like have little bits of everything. Like there's even some like it's like almost like a mustard. There's like a rusty red. Yeah.
And I will say Bark helps me so much with dyeing now. And he is really good at just like throwing a bunch of color in there and making it work.
Yeah.
And I just like I was kind of too fussy for years about like, oh, I'm gonna like place this here. So he has been awesome.
A little more reckless.
Yeah. Next one is kind of like movie purple with a lot of other stuff too. You can see there's like
I love
a
that
little bit of
pop of orange
back there. So the naming's kind of the hard part, so that's coming up. This is like a periwinkle. I don't even know if it's gray or it is more like just periwinkle purple and like some blues. It's so hard to show it. And the last one, kind of a muted, I don't know what color would you call this? Like
it's like an olive almost.
I think that's good, yeah.
Like a mustardy olive with like darker browns, and that looks like turquoise.
Yeah, there's a little bit of so there's some like brighter greens hiding. But yeah. So
can I squish one?
You can squish all of them.
Oh boy. I've talked about this before. This is one of my favorite bases, like of all time.
I don't think I'm ever getting rid of it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
So,
it's squishy. I love the cashmere in it. Like that's just, what is it? 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. And it's just so like, I don't know, the cashmere just like makes it so fancy. This would be fun to like make socks out of too.
Yeah. And then I brought a few more mini sets. So I was doing these themed ones. So we'll see about this. But I have a Women of Marvel one, which is Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy. So she's green with like flaming kind of burgundy hair. Scarlet Witch and Black Widow.
Cool.
So. And on Sparkle.
Of course.
You know. And then I have a Mandalorian one with Baby Yoda, Ahsoka, and Mando are the 3 colors. So
cool.
The green's a little dark for Baby Yoda, but the idea. So we'll see. This is the first time doing it, and if I get a letter, I'll know what to do it again. Oops. Those and lots of other things will be in the shop update.
Yeah, you've got a bunch of other stuff too.
Yeah, I have that whole bag is going in the update. That's only like a portion of the minis. I have a ton of minis. I have some DK minis for the first time that I'm sneaking in. And the whole proofing cabinet is full of stuff to rinse today. So
exciting.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's always so stressful, like the week before a launch, because you're like trying to get everything ready and you're scrambling, and then you also like have to remember to like tell people about it. Well, so your email list, you're posting.
Just, like the work isn't finished when you're so like they're dyed, rinsed, drying. They're twisted. They have the labels on. They're not named. They're not on the website. They don't have entries. They don't have photos. So
it's a lot.
It does add up. So.
That's, I think, what people forget, and I forget about it too. Like, you know, you're like, I want to have a creative business, you know, dyeing yarn. And that's like only a small portion of it.
Right. So that's it for yarn.
Okay.
You have new stuff?
Yeah, I do, and I forgot everything except we're into May now, so we're in Q2, which is the second quarter of 2022 is for Pin Club, for the Flare Club. It's the theme is sweet treats, and the only pin that I remembered to bring it's the gummy bear, the green gummy bear, and it says barely listening, and I can't even take it out because I put it in the pocket, and it was really hard to like pin it properly, so I'm not going to take it out. But those are on my website and my Patreon. You can check those out. And then we picked the theme for Q3, which is going to be dinosaurs.
Oh my gosh, so excited.
Yes.
Oh, dinosaurs.
I know, I'm really excited to draw some dinosaurs. So,
and tell me the levels sticker.
Oh yeah, so I've got stickers, the enamel pins, and then I just added iron-on patches too. So like if you go on my Patreon, there's 8 different tiers that you can like mix and match. You could get like only the sticker or only the pin, or you can get a pin and a patch, or a pin and a sticker or whatever. And then, or there's the like highest one is you can get all 3. And for right now, I have international shipping is free. It used to be separated. There were separate tiers for like if you lived outside the US that were more expensive because I was having it cover international shipping, but I worked it out so that international shipping is now worked into like everybody gets the same price, US, international, whatever. So it's because I only had 2 international patrons. So now if like a ton of international people sign up, I might have to change that. But for right now, yeah, international shipping is free. Yeah, I forgot all my merch. I've got a bunch of new stickers and there's new t-shirts and stuff in there too. And I forgot all of it.
We should talk about the make-along and announce the winner.
We should. The make-along. We were like blown away by how many people participated in our one skein make-along. That was so awesome. We hope that you were able to use up some of your stash yarn and you know, get that out of your stash. And so we have a skein of yarn to give away to someone who posted on Instagram using our hashtag #OneSkeinMal.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday Sarah picked a winner.
It's Stephanie Norris.
Stephanie!
Oh my gosh.
Yay.
She made a gorgeous lacy shawl. She reminds me showing this, but see, I'm getting alerts.
Ooh.
So nice.
So we will...
Stephanie, we'll contact her. And...
So, Stephanie, you used up a skein of yarn, and now we're going to replenish that for you.
Good job. So thanks to everyone for participating. I think we got to do it like at least annually, because we're always going to have skeins lying around that we need something for.
Stash.
And I think it's nice that it's like quick and...
Yeah, that was awesome. Sarah didn't finish her project.
Horrible one skein now person. I have 5 more teeth to go.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not bad. I mean, let's see what you got.
Here, hold that corner. I was doing it every 10, so I got 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 35 teeth. Nice. And so I need 41. So yeah, I love this yarn, and I can't wait to wear it. And the pattern, you don't ever need to look at it after the 5th repeat or something, and it's wonderful. But I was twisting, and
you've been busy. It's okay.
So I'm very close, which is good because I wouldn't be this far if it wasn't for this. So
yeah,
it's so fun, and I keep eyeballing. I found another little hidden packet of yarn from shows that I had bought that I'm like, and do other one skein projects with those. What did you do? I finished my fluid slouchy, the fluid slouchy beanie by Karen McCall, and I made it with lemonade shop yarn. Just the cutest colorway ever.
I made it extra long because I wanted a really super slouchy. Yeah.
I love the fold over brim.
Yeah, thanks. It's not blocked either.
Hats it just look how nice that is.
It was fun to make. This was a nice, it's squishy, it's DK. I don't know. And I love that it's gray, but it's not boring gray. I don't know if you can see the speckles in it. It's this colorway is called Kitchen Sink. So from Lemonade Shop. So this is something I never would have finished it on time if I wasn't I need to show this in the next episode because, I like to take 10,000 years to make stuff. Which is why I'm too slow of a pattern designer. All right, so I brought a bunch of extra stuff because I'm this is going to be a really short episode because I always say that and then it never is. But I wanted to tell you guys about this. So there's this, I'm actually not sure if it's a knitting company so it's called Wicks and Sticks, and the logo is a little ball of yarn. Do you know that I almost went pinched to make it bigger?
I have done that. I have done that.
I'm I can't see it. I need it to be bigger. So I got this hand and body balm from this company who I guess they must be knitters. They wouldn't have a knitting logo otherwise. But they're based in Rhode Island, and it's a giant chapstick, but for your hands or whatever. And it's made with coconut oil and beeswax. Yeah, this one is citrus and rose flavor.
Oh my god!
It smells so good, and they've got a whole bunch of different flavors. But it's really nice for you put it on your hands and let it soak in, and I don't know.
And it's nice to have in your bag, and you won't worry about it leaking and
I've been keeping it next to, I have a big bowl, catch-all next to my couch.
Nice non-plastic packaging.
Yeah. It's in a cardboard tube. But yeah, I love how it smells. It feels really good on my hands. And a bunch of people in my Discord server were buying it. So I was all right, I'll get some. And it's the best, and you should buy it too because it's great. So I just wanted to tell you about that. Another local to Rhode Island, but a small biz.
I'm going to talk about 2 TV shows briefly, just because, oh my gosh. I'm 4 seasons late to this, and for a while I was whatever. I don't know about this show, and it's so good. It's crazy. I'm like, that's what everyone... And I remember somebody saying,
God.
oh, like really wanted to talk about it with me. And I was like, oh, I don't watch it. And now all I want to do is talk about it with people and nobody's watching it. I mean, like, you know, like my friends that I talked to about TV. Yellowstone.
You can talk to my dad about it because every fucking time he sees us, he's like, did you watch Yellowstone yet? Did you watch Yellowstone yet? For like 2 years. And we're like, no, Dad, not yet. So like, I'll have my dad call you.
It's so good. I'm not even done with the first season. And, it's so good. It's like a heart attack. Like, these people are real. This is all happening. You, like, have to get them through. Like, everyone almost dies every episode.
Oh, no.
And you're just trying to, like, get them, like, to the next... Like, there's this little kid. He's always in, like, mortal danger. It's great. Kevin Costner has no right to look as good as he does. He's, like, 68 years old.
Is he really?
And he's the patriarch. There's a bunch of kids... I can't even get into all of it. It's epic. It's crazy. I just love it. I can see why everyone is talking about it. So anyway, if anyone I want to talk about it. If anyone watches it, please. And don't give me spoilers because I'm going slow. But it's fantastic. If anyone watched Sicario with Emily Blunt, it was like a drug, like... crazy action movie. The guy who wrote that, and he's written lots of other stuff, is writing this, and you can tell it's like it doesn't feel like a TV. Like you kind of expect like I don't know what I was expecting like Dallas or it's not that. It's like movie level. Like there's like helicopter. I mean it's
really
off the charts nuts. So anyway, your dad can call me because I was just like so I'm like yelling at this, you know, like. I will tell you what, like, there's one, like, young dad, and there's, like, this stuff going down, so he grabs the kid out of the truck, puts him in, like, this, like little tunnel thing, like, under the road to, like, keep him safe, because there's, like, stuff going down, he's running over, the kid, behind the kid is a rattlesnake. In this tunnel, he just put the kid in to keep him safe. So I'm screaming, like, there was a rattlesnake! Not helpful. So entertaining. I love it. Anyway, that was longer than I thought. But
I can't wait to go home.
I don't passively watch anything. Like I will be, you know, not like annoying in a theater, but I like can't just go and be like I remember my friend Anisha and I went to see the newer Star Wars when Han Solo bites the dust and we were like clutching each other like like crying. So if you're that type of person, I understand that. And then my other plug is for Our Flag Means Death, which if you like Taika Waititi, this is his new TV show on HBO. And it's super crazy. If you like What We Do in the Shadows or Thor Ragnarok, which he directed, you will love this. Like crazy cast of characters. It's really, which like people weren't expecting. It's super gay friendly. There's like multiple like different like relationships on the boat and just like wackiness, but also really touching. It's such a strange blend of things. I do not know how they pull it off, and they do, and it's wonderful. And it's kind of about this like who was a historical character, Steve Bonnet, and he was kind of like almost like a fop almost. He dresses, you know, very, you know, flamboyantly and just decides he's kind of bored with his life and leaves his wife and kids and goes and starts to be a pirate. Okay. And he's like way different than the other pirates and it's lovely.
Is it a comedy?
I would say mostly comedy, but if you're going into it just like to only laugh, there's definitely some like they all have had like tough things in their past and that comes up. So yeah, I'd say I don't know how to,
Dramedy?
Yeah.
Drama?
Yeah, I would say, not only comedy. Okay. So, yeah, there's some heavier stuff that they have to deal with.
I feel like Schitt's Creek on some level is like that, where it's it's comedy, but there's like some
that's a good
darker
comparison.
Stuff.
Yeah, that they deal with stuff that's serious, but it's lighthearted on the surface. Yeah.
So, well, that sounds fun.
Oh my gosh! So TV shows, talk to me about any TV show anytime because I was in kind of a slump with TV, and then I like new shows. So, and I have a few books too.
Okay, I have one book.
You wanna? Okay.
Yeah.
You wanna do yours?
Yeah. Let me make sure I got my picture. So I've been reading. Did we talk about when I told you I'd always only read 2 books in April? Was that before or after we started recording?
After.
Okay. Was it in the episode?
I think it was. Is it your
well,
cutoff point?
If it is in the episode, I'm gonna cut it out before, and so I can tell you about it now. So Sarah was like, I've been reading like lots of books, and I'm like, that's great because I've only read 2 in April. Like I'm just in this horrible slump. But I picked up this book last week, and I don't know like what drew me to it, but it's called Kindred, Neanderthal Life, Love, Death, and Art, and it's by Rebecca Wragg Sykes, and it's all about Neanderthals, which are like an early humanoid species. So I didn't know anything about Neanderthals or like, you know, early human Homo erectus, Homo sapien, whatever species, and like the evolution of like human evolution. But this book is so fucking interesting. It's like this. So like when you think of a Neanderthal, you think of like a dirty caveman with the heavy brow and the club, and like they're chasing mammoths or whatever. And like that was true to some extent, but like this book talks about how like they were so much more than that, and all this like new research that is coming to light, and like, you know, how they were they had like really like humanesque like culture, and they were really technologically savvy and like, well, as technologically advanced as you can get with like rocks and bone and whatever, but like, you know, I can't believe all this stuff that like I was talking to my husband about this last night. I'm like, I can't even wrap my head around the fact that there's all these other humanish species from, you know, like hundreds of thousands of years ago, that the only reason they don't exist now is just like by chance, like the weirdest chance circumstances. Like there could be, you know,
other types of humans.
Yeah, it's just like, it's crazy to me. And that there are so many different human-ish species living at the same time too, and intermingling with each other. And, you know, I don't know, it's just so fascinating.
Did you read Clan of the Cave Bear back in the day?
You know what, I wanted to read it, and it's been on my list, and I think I read like 1 or 2 chapters and I DNF'd.
It's tough. There's a lot of stuff that's objectionable.
Oh, really? Like violent, triggering kind of stuff?
Tons,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very. She's really abused from like a young age. And yeah, it's tough.
Yows.
She is a Homo sapiens in a group of Neanderthals, and she's the outcast, and she's horrible and ugly and scrawny.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but there's a lot.
Yeah.
Not great stuff.
I'll have to go back. Maybe, I think that was when I was reading with my eyes. So maybe I can go back and listen to it.
But yeah, I don't know that I would really especially recommend it. At the time, I did learn a lot about that era, but I don't know that the pain that she goes through is kind of worth the story. Okay. Really.
Well, yeah, the like learning about like the ancient history and
that's really cool.
The archaeology and whatever has been, I don't know, it's like really soothing before bed, like to just think about really, really old stuff.
I posted this in our story, so I don't know if anyone saw it, but Alice, Feeney, rock, paper, scissors. I'm dropping my iPad. I don't know, I love this cover. It's like looking down on like trees. Richard Armitage I did the audio for this. He's an actor. If you didn't know, he was in the Hobbit movies. He was also in one of my favorite period pieces, North and South. Not the Civil War one, but there's one set in England during like the Industrial Revolution, and he's like this industrialist, and this woman comes to town and is like, you know, why do all of you treat your workers so bad they can't even eat? And it's this like 4-5 part like epic like love story. It's crazy good.
I've heard of that.
He has the best deep voice. So this is a husband and wife. So there's a male and female narrator. Do it on audio if you're gonna do it. Can't get back into my iPad. Sorry.
Technical difficulties.
Oh my gosh. So it bumps from back and forth. Present day, their marriage is kind of in trouble. They're going to a Scottish like getaway to kind of have like one last ditch effort at trying to save the marriage. He's become kind of distant. She writes him a letter every year on their anniversary and hasn't given him any. And I think this is like the 10th year or something. So you listen to those letters throughout. So you get an idea about how like things kind of like deteriorate. He becomes very successful screenplay writer.
Okay.
So they go from like, you know, living in this little dumpy apartment in London to him really like just becoming very famous and all of the normal marriage difficulties. They get to this remote Scottish, like, you know, place to stay, and there's no one there. Creepy things start happening. And there's no way to talk about it without spoiling anything. Besides, it's suspenseful. It's great. I love it. Oh, and he has face blindness in this, which has a scientific name, which I do not know. He cannot recognize any faces of anyone. So it's all like not a blur, but he can't distinguish. So like he only knows his wife by the scent of her shampoo or like her perfume, and or hair. He can recognize hair too, but he can't recognize face. So like at a party, she'd have to be like, "Oh, this is who's like coming up to talk to us," or you know, kind of like clue him in. So that factors into.
Interesting. I've never even heard of that.
Yeah,
that would be very inconvenient.
Hey, yes, was tough. I'll try to go past. Dead Silence by S.A. Barnes. This is a newish sci-fi, and I read this one and I had to stop reading it at night before bed because I was dreaming about scary space stuff.
Oh no.
And in like the best way that I like then would like read during the day to try to read something else cozy before I went to bed, because I still wanted to find out what happened, but I couldn't do it right before bed. So I'm betting it's a pretty fantastic audiobook as well. And then the funniest thing, I found this on some list and added it to my, you know, like Libby a while ago, and then I forget like why I added it. So then I'm like part way through and I'm like, this is a woman. And it is. It's a female writer, which I didn't even know, which I'm assuming she did SA just to, you know.
Because women are not welcomed or respected in sci-fi, which is bullshit.
It is. So, and I feel bad that I didn't know it till I got to a part where she mentioned something. I was like, this is a woman. But anyway, they're on like a salvage ship, kind of a scrappy crew. They pull up next to this abandoned ship, and it's pretty much like the Titanic of spaceships. Okay. It was like bunch of rich people had like been missing for 20 years on this ship, and nobody knows what happened to it, and nobody's seen the ship in 20 years. So they're like, we're gonna go scavenging, see what we can find on this thing. There's all these rich people, and of course, you know, people are dead on there, and oh man, it sounds
so scary.
So scary. So
it does say unspeakable horrors on the cover.
Yeah, there's like floating corpses. And,
whoa!
I mean, it's so good. It's so good. Anyway.
Oh man.
Well, this is not helping. You can lay down here. Sorry, quick one. Snapdragon. I'm doing an LGBTQ plus teen show at work, and so I'm reading all types of stuff. So I have a few middle grade books, and this is a graphic novel. It's very adorable, and there's a dog in it. So you can see so cute. I was so impressed with this, and I say I got out like a bunch and kind of like started a few things and just didn't hit me. This so beautiful. I won't say it. If you like graphic novels, give it a try.
Sorry.
Oh man,
jeez,
tough.
Just got such a cute tum. I want to pet it.
So hopefully your reading will.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what is going on. I've like started and just abandoned so many books. I just can't. I don't Like, you seem like you've come out of your slump.
I'm out of it.
Yeah, I'm
already like, okay, this is so good. I'm going to have to hit another slump. But right now, it's really good.
At the beginning of the year, I was listening to a bunch of audiobooks, and then Devin and I started rewatching Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So now that's like, instead of reading in the evenings, I'm watching Buffy, which is also a very important cultural thingy that that's everyone should watch Buffy. Well, that's it. That's all we've got for you for this episode. Next time we will be here at the beginning of June. I don't know what date it is. It will be episode 31, and we will be wrapping up. We will be the Great Lakes Fiber Show. So remember, if you're in the area, if you're in Ohio, come visit us at the Great Lakes Fiber Show. If you go to Sarah's booth, she'll have the first 3 people get a special tote bag. So come say hi, mention Yarn Hellions, and then we'll have stickers and little goodies for everybody else. Remember to subscribe and follow us on Instagram and TikTok. That helps us out a lot, and I think that's it. Thanks, guys. Goodbye.